Previously on Balls.
Hello, John.
Hey Joe, how's it going?
Going all right, and you?
All right, thank you. Off for a little bit of a surf, are we?
I have just had a surf room, about to cocking at home.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing a bit of Beach Boys for you. Just
Yeah,
get a bit of a mood going. Sluiting
Yeah,
nogal, eh?
Ja, I'm sluiting nogal.
Back in your old stomping ground.
Old stomping ground.
What are you on?
Jeez,
Are you on holiday, or are you just taking some time out?
No. Kids for the weekend, Thursday, Friday, and back to Cape Town Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's flown up now.
I was going to say, you get around. I saw you on Espresso the other morning.
Yeah, yesterday morning, early start. I was in Cape Town.
Yes.
Experiencing some summer, because Durban has been raining for 3 months.
Yes, I believe so. I believe it's just been horrible there.
Nice to see the sun out in Cape Town there.
Awesome.
Summer has arrived there, nice and warm.
Hey, how's the surf down there on Mshloti today?
No, it's blowing pretty hard. So I went into town, surfed with my daughter, picked her up from school, took her for a surf. At least we're going to be one decent road surfing.
All right.
Or surf a road, yeah.
That's
This one is not so
fantastic.
good.
And that's you're not talking about yourself, are you?
No,
Okay.
definitely not. Daniela's going to lead the way.
Fantastic. Well, Joe, thanks a lot for taking a bit of time to chat to us today.
Sure, Darren.
You must have really been chuffed with that character performance in that second test. It must have brought back memories of your guys' tours over in Australia and some of those character building efforts that you guys put in, not least of all Sydney. And I was just saying, if Adelaide had DRS in your tour, we probably would have won that series.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, it was 1-1 that series in 93-94. Sydney was certainly an interesting game for us, but watching the last day of the test match, I must confess, going to bed on the evening of day 4, I hadn't given us much chance of the whole day that we did, but he's superb cricket play by the guys, especially Fasti Protea.
Yeah, I mean, Billy did try his best to actually do us in at Adelaide again. That's why I was thinking back to Adelaide in your time. I think you were one of the guys that got a really dodgy one from Daryl here. I think missing off stump by about three
Don't
sticks.
say anything. You get me I'm not going to comment. You get me in trouble, even though it's been a very long time ago since I retired.
Yeah, but now, I mean, one of the, there's this all this talk about South Africa, the Proteas sometimes retire some captains. We normally did it with England. Ricky Ponting, surely he would have, Joe, gone on to want to finish at least at Melbourne or Sydney before retiring, but looks like we might have sped up that process.
Yeah, it's always quite difficult. I mean, to know when to retire and call it a day is probably the toughest decision any cricketer is going to make. And it's the last thing you want is somebody to make it for you.
Yeah.
And to be able to, to play in big games, to finish off, in the series, especially if it's an Ashes series still to go and possibly stick around for that. But I think if you look at what's been happening in world cricket, the quality of the young players coming through, senior players are under pressure to kind of call it a day, I think, in this era, because with the IPL, with the youngsters coming through, you don't really have time at your disposal to dictate in your own terms anymore when you're going to go.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be around for their Christmas and Boxing Day period, so it's going to be really emotional for Australia, because as Simon was saying, the last of the super Aussies from that dominating team is gone after Perth. So, I mean, that'll kind of give them a bit of a lift after the disappointment of drawing the test. I don't know, and you can tell us, I don't know if it's actually a good or bad thing having that as a sideshow going on when you've got a test series to win, though.
Yeah, quite difficult. I think because often the players will obviously just focus on what's happening on the field as opposed to what's happening, and Ricky Ponting retiring is certainly newsworthy, and it will take up a lot of the focus for the Australian guys. And for him, it's going to be tough. I mean, as well, I see Shane Warne on Twitter. He's tweeting about, make sure hopefully your last test is a good one. I mean, my last first-class game in the UK, I got a North and a 1, I think. Your mind is definitely elsewhere. It's hard enough to focus on the ball. So maybe a guy like Ricky Ponting has certainly shown a lot of character in his career. So he possibly be a little bit stronger than me mentally. But emotionally, I think I was already packed my bags and my boots were hanging up already before he went out to bat.
Yeah. Did you think of delaying your retirement after that Norton one and maybe getting another game just to try and put it right?
No, because I thought only go from bad to worse. So you put your head in the pool and walk off the field.
Yeah. Well, I think Sir Donald Bradman needed. He just needed to make a handful of runs. I think to average something like 100 in Test cricket. And
Didn't he need one?
No, I think he got 4. Did he get a duck in his last game?
No, he got a duck. He got a duck. He probably needed 1.
Yeah, he needed 1.
He needed 4 and he got a duck, and that's why he ended up on 99 points.
Yeah, that's right.
So it doesn't work for the greats as well.
Well, I tell you what. Fortunately for me, my average so way off any milestone. It's just quite. I could have gone for a 0 or a 1 or 100. It wouldn't have made any difference to my average. So that's one of the big advantages.
Yeah, the other one obviously is that and we were saying yesterday and this week when we were chatting just what significance that last day and a half, 2 days had for South Africa in terms of the Test series. It might have been a draw, but I mean it could turn out to be a win for us, particularly with what it's meant for us and for Australia, because if they hadn't done what they'd done and they hadn't worked Peter Siddle to the literally into the ground, he would be playing in Perth as well. Now they've lost one of their, if not their key member of their attack as well, because of what our batsmen did on that final day.
Yeah, it was a huge effort. You watched it those last couple of overs with my heart in my mouth, but it looked like his heart was about to come through his throat. He had bowled himself to a literal standstill, but amazing effort from Peter Siddle. But the Australians at this stage, I'm not too sure injury-wise are their youngsters, but they certainly, I saw in the Champions League when they came out here, there were some young fast bowlers certainly raring to go. And with the Perth track that's got pace and bounce here, maybe there is, a guy like Peter Siddle, line and length, good areas, he might have made way anyway for a younger, faster guy who's going to utilise that pace.
Okay. Yeah, I like the inclusion of Mitchell Starc. I think he's a quality bowler. I don't know too much about Hastings, and of course we know what Mitchell Johnson can do. He blows a bit of hot and cold though, so it depends which one arrives. Yeah,
no, he does. We saw at the Champions League, but he's been around the block more than once. He's certainly got a lot of experience in the Australian setup, and from a left-hand point of view, if he gets it right from when it swings, a difficult customer to deal with.
Jonty, looking at our guys, and I'm when I say our guys, Faf du Plessis, how difficult will it be for him, or will it be difficult at all to pick himself up after that monumental effort on debut? Is there a come down? How will he feel going into the third Test?
Yeah, I think it's not too difficult to put, because you kind of put the good and the bad, behind you. Performance-wise, I think emotionally it would have been quite draining, but I know Gary Kirsten, with the use of Paddy Upton and the experience of the international sort of caliber of players in the squad, the guys would have certainly worked out and supported Faf and everybody, because I think even watching it last day, it wasn't going to be drained, So sure, Faf was out there doing all the hard yards, but I watched the dressing room. Adam Donald looked like he needed to go to bed a couple of days off.
Yeah.
After the game on the floor. So everybody probably had a good day off, and Faf is going to be really confident, and not only him, I think a lot of the team will have taken confidence out of that last day. So I don't think emotionally he's going to have to drag himself out of bed. He's probably raring to go and just show people, keepers, I've been waiting my turn, and I've taken Test cricket with my chance with both hands, and let me show you what I really can do.
Well, before you let you go, John, just one thing. We're talking about your sort of spot in the batting lineup. For Perth, with, AB, I mean, it was a hell of a knock he put in there as well. I mean, don't look at what he scored. Look at how many balls and how much time he used up. So, But now, do you look at maybe moving Faf a little up the order and maybe batting in that number 5 slot and letting AB get sort of more towards, the keeper's slot and push him down to number 6?
Yeah, I still think AB is a top order batter. I think that the danger there is that if you push him further down, suddenly he is batting with a tail. I still reckon AB is one of the best batters in world cricket, and you want him to bat as high as possible, considering the fact that he's got a dual role within the team as a keeper as well. So, without destroying him, I still think you want him to bat as soon as possible. I think Faf will be the first to appreciate that. Sure, he got a 70 and 100 in the Test, but that's his first match. He's got a lot of Test cricket to play, and a long way to prove himself still. Whereas a guy like AB de Villiers has certainly shown over not just the last 2 seasons, but over a pretty extended time, that he's one of our top players.
Okay.
Jacques Kallis is still uncertain for this Test. Now, should he not get the clear, who do you put in his spot?
You put Jacques in his spot. You roll him out there.
With one leg.
You roll him out there. If he has to go in a chair, you roll him out.
He rolled out for the first year. Every time he's gone to the crease now, he's kind of rolled out. It's very difficult. So the difficult thing about Jacques is he's a frontline batter and he's a frontline bowler. So if you do replace him with, impossible. You're right. You get him as fit as you can and make do with what you've got.
Yeah. On Jacques, just sorry, I know I said the last one, but we were having this conversation at the James Kingston Classic the other day. And I was just saying, Jacques Kallis has to be the greatest sportsman this country has ever produced. Doesn't matter what sport. And I just wonder if he's actually received the accolades he deserves from his own country.
Well, I think Jacques probably the last guy that's even bothered about what people are thinking. You know, he's been such a laid back, and you wouldn't think so with the performances that he's turned out for South Africa. But if you look at his stats on and off the field over such a consistent period, it's hard to believe that there is anybody who can, internationally has ever seen a life like Jacques Kallis had. And in all forms of the game, so he's not just an 8-test cricketer. He's been an amazing one-day player, and he's certainly shown that he's transformed the tempo of his batting to be able to adapt to T22. So, yeah, the consummate all-rounder in all forms of the game.
Absolutely, and I think in all sports, with all due respect to our great sportsmen that we have produced, I don't think there has been a South African sportsman that comes near what Jacques has achieved playing the game of cricket.
Gary Player.
No, I think just what he's achieved, with all due
Gary
respect,
Player.
I think Jacques Kallis is right up there. Sorry. I will.
Yeah, you're right up there. There's certainly a few guys who would be in a similar sort of bracket from achievement. And if you look back at Gary Player era, the stuff he talks about where he was on his backswing having people throwing things at him.
For ice and telephone books.
You got telephone books for them, so maybe I've seen that short. Kind of guys throw their aim ahead high and it goes straight over his head.
Do you know that he's the most travelled athlete of all time, Jonty?
He's the most what?
Travelled athlete of all time.
Yeah, no, I can't believe that.
And he grew up poor, eh?
He grew up poor.
Grew up poor.
I grew up poor.
And Joe did a few miles as well.
And his brother Ian went to war.
Yeah, stop it now. Joe,
Gary Player, he's not bad.
thanks for your time, Jonty. Really appreciate it, man. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the test.
Alrighty.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Jonty Rhodes. Stop pushing your Gary Player agenda.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za